Hello, welcome to the morning edition of MBC News, and you are with me, Evelis Chingambe. Coming up this morning, Malawi registers 11 cholera cases in the country and no deaths recorded, the Ministry of Health confirms. Malawi legends defeat Zambia football legends 6-5 on penalties. And in international news, leaders and advocates across the African continent speak on the continent's economic future, suggesting strategies in achieving economic independence. Thank you for joining us. Now the news in detail. 11 cholera cases have been confirmed in the country with no deaths recorded. The districts affected are Kasungu, Neno, Lilongwe, Balaka and Chitipa. Minister of Health Madalitso Waloi confirmed the cases in Lilongwe during a media briefing on the status of the cholera outbreak. Madalitso Mohango has compiled us this report, being read by Olive Piri.
Speaking during the media briefing, Minister of Health and Sanitation, Madalitso Waloi, said the ministry has put in place measures to prevent further spread of cholera in some parts of the country, including deployment of rapid response teams in affected areas, strengthening disease surveillance and promoting safe water and hygiene. Waloi further said the ministry is working in collaboration with other SADC countries, the World Health Organization and other partners to manage the cholera situation.
We have confirmed 11 cases. This is a local transmission in the districts of Kasungu and in Neno. In Kasungu, we have 5 cases. There was one person that presented the symptoms and 4 other family members were also found to have the same symptoms, and upon capturing with our laboratories, it was confirmed that there are cholera cases. And in Neno, we also have 3 cases of cholera. These are the cases that have been confirmed and at the same time contained.
World Health Organization's Health Emergencies Preparedness and Response Officer, Dr. Gertrude Chabodera, said the organization remains committed to supporting the government to avoid further spread of the disease.
What we are doing is to really regionally collaborate. So we are reaching out to our neighboring countries so that we have a joint surveillance and also a joint response. So as we have the Malawi government mounting a response across the border, so that the other countries also are able to mount similar efforts to be able to respond. One thing that I would really emphasize is that the Malawi government has actually shown leadership in the coordination. So already there are informal processes that the government of Malawi has undertaken.
The Ministry of Health says it has over 600 million kwacha for its cholera preparedness and control plan, and needs about 5.2 billion kwacha to support efforts to contain the cholera outbreak in the country.
Second-hand and Scrap Metal Dealers Association has expressed concern over challenges caused by unregistered scrap metal business operators who engage in buying illegal scrap metals. Chairperson of the association, Jonathan Patrick, made the remarks in Lilongwe during the association's end-of-year gathering. Olive Piri reports.
According to Chairperson of the Second-hand and Scrap Metal Dealers Association, Jonathan Patrick, it is unfortunate that some people are operating the scrap metal business without registering with the association. Jonathan emphasized the need for all scrap metal dealers to be registered so that they receive training on the rules and regulations governing the business. He then warned the business operators against buying infrastructure materials belonging to ESCOM and water boards, among other companies, saying anyone found doing so will have their license revoked. Jonathan also added that the Second-hand and Scrap Metal Dealer Act remains unchanged and anyone who breaks it will face the law. Flaxon Imponda is the secretary of the association.
Most of the people who are just joining the business without registering, they are not well trained, of which when buying the scrap metals, they are buying even the illegal scrap metals, of which is not supposed to be bought.
Meanwhile, Lilongwe Police Station Community Policing Coordinator Laudan Frank Kaira says the police are working hand in hand with the association to prevent vandalism of public infrastructure. Kaira has urged members of the association to continue complying with the law and cooperate with law enforcement agencies to protect government property.
We are conducting sensitization meetings to sensitize the community on the effects of vandalizing their properties. So many times they do fund us with their financial support so that we can ably conduct activities which are aimed at preventing vandalism of properties.
The Second Hand and Scrap Metal Dealers Association has a membership of over 100 business operators in various districts in the country. Olive Piri, MBC News, Lilongwe.
First Capital Bank FCB has provided food aid to 1,200 households in Chilatsulu. Over 22,000 households in Chilatsulu are facing food shortage due to low harvests emanated from climatic shocks. FCB has donated 3,888 bags of maize to hunger-stricken households in the district. Speaking during the donation at Chilatsulu Business Development Center, Head of Legal and Company Secretary for FCB, Remy Ngomba, said the donation was in response to government's call to help hunger-stricken households across the country.
First Capital Bank, belief comes first, and we believe that the bank, for it to operate, it is because of the people, and we have strong ties with the community. And when the government raised an alarm, we thought it wise to be the first bank to contribute towards assisting the lives of the people who are suffering from hunger. So we contributed through Dotma to help Malawians. We have invested a lot, and what we procured was 190 metric tons to reach as far as Dotma would in its operations find it fit that these Malawians deserve to.
Deputy Director for Disaster Response at Dotma, Fiaupi Mafongo, said the donation from FCB will cater for households in the area of Senior Chief Nkalo and others from Sub-Traditional Authority in Mpunga.
Dotma were very happy to receive this donation, which is going towards the food insecurity response. You are aware that due to climatic shocks, but also some other factors, as a country we didn't do well in terms of crop production during the 2024-2025 season. And the Malawi Climate Assessment carried an assessment which showed that 4 million Malawians are at risk of food insecurity. And following that, we did a response plan with estimated costs of around 209 billion Malawi. So we are really grateful for this support, which is going towards that food assistance program.
Just like the family that we have helped us with food, and that food now is the situation of what I was saying is that there are so many good of a few of them, most of the times, they click together and try to replace the vulnerables. So, by then, they always attempt to immunity of the state president. So today I was just warning them that they continue that behavior, the law takes place.
You're watching MBC News and you are with me, Evelis Chingambe. A reminder of the top stories. Malawi registers 11 cholera cases and no deaths recorded, the Ministry of Health confirms. Malawi Legends defeat Zambia football legends 6-5 on penalties. And in international news, leaders and advocates across the African continent speak on the continent's economic future, suggesting strategies in achieving economic independence. Welcome back. Malawi legends have triumphed over Zambia football legends 6-5 on penalties in a match that ended 2-0 on regular time. Malawi came from behind to grab the trophy as they were trailing 2-0 10 minutes before the end of the game. The former Flames found the back of the net through Mabopa Msugwa and Jimmy Zakazaka to force the match to go into penalties. After 90 minutes, the teams went direct into penalties where Malawi triumphed 6-5 to the joy of Kina Piri, coach for Malawi legends.
Yes, I also promise, I really promise that today's game is a very crucial game. We knew very well that Zambians were coming with a very strong squad, as you have seen in the game. But because we prepared well, and I also told the boys that whatever happens, you have to fight up to the end. So this is a bonus for us, and I should say thank you to the boys and also the management of Football Association, the Legends Football Association, for making it possible for this tournament to take place.
Yeah, it was a nicely contested game. First and foremost, we would like to appreciate the Malawian legends, the chairman, the GS, and all the corporate companies that were involved, in trying to organize this event. I think it's been an annual event, and it's for me, it brings the two nations together, and it was good, to see the reunion of the players that we used to play against during our competitive times, and it was good to see my coach, Kina Piri. So yeah, it's football it is what it is. We wanted to win, but we've lost through the penalties, which is, I think it's a fair result. And since we started meeting, I think they've won one, we've won one, we've drawn. So I think it's a fair result, though we wanted to win, but we congratulate them. It has been a good game, exciting game. I think the crowd has enjoyed the game. So yeah, we hope to continue having such kind of games in Southern Africa, so that we improve that and we continue the friendship that we've been having, because Malawans are our brothers. So yeah, we're just at home. It was just like we are playing now we were just away in Chipata.
Still in sports, Malawi has a new bodybuilding champion following an electrifying Mr. Malawi competition held at the Kamuzu Institute in Lilongwe. The event brought together the country's finest physiques in a colorful celebration of strength, discipline and dedication. Fraser Zega emerged as the overall winner, scooping the prestigious Mr. Malawi crown and a 2 million kwacha cash prize. The women's wellness category produced thrilling performances, with Jennifer Pio taking top honors. She was followed by Lukia Ali in second place, while Costas Damson settled for the third after an impressive display. Upcoming talent took center stage in the under-23 novice category. Christopher Magawanga claimed first position ahead of Peter Piri and William Piri, who finished second and third respectively. In the men's physique division, Andrew Chawea stood out to claim victory, with Bruce John finishing second and Victor Chimala completing the podium. The men's under 80 kilograms category saw Chippy Maxwell emerge victorious, followed by Jacob Mangonde in second place and Alpha Chilongola in third. The contest reached its peak in the above 80 kilograms category, where Fraser Sega dominated to take first place. James Brown finished second, while Chippy Maxwell claimed third position. Zega's commanding performance in the heavyweight division sealed his overall triumph, crowning him the new Mr. Malawi. Blantyre City Deputy Mayor Gerald Ripigwe has applauded Mighty Wanderers for winning the TNM Super League back to Blantyre. Lipigwe, who welcomed the team at its head office, said it is very impressive that a Blantyre team has brought the TNM Super League title back into the city. The team's director of football, David Kanyenda said they are planning to defend the title for the next 10 years. Moving on to international news, leaders and advocates across the African continent have spoken on Africa's economic future, suggesting strategies in achieving economic independence across the region. Speaking during celebrations marking 65 years of independence for Nigeria, Kenyan scholar Patrick Lumumba encouraged African countries to focus on manufacturing and industrialization. Telson Magombo with a report.
Leaders, advocates and experts across the African continent have spoken on African economic future and suggested strategies to achieve economic independence. Setting up industries near raw material sources, infrastructure investments, as well as leveraging Africa's free trade area have been among key issues put in place in resuscitating the Africa's economy. Speaking during celebration marking 65 years of independence for one of Africa's largest economies, Nigeria, Kenyan scholar and advocate Professor Lumumba encouraged African leaders to work towards improving their economies.
When I ask for coffee, I get coffee Nescafe from little Switzerland. That is the state in which we are. What went wrong? Those who love Africa are asking. I was at an African university. And at that university, they said that their greatest desire was that they wanted to be like Harvard and Cambridge. And I said, why do you want to be like Harvard? Why do you want to be like Cambridge? Why can't you not just be you? One of the things that we Africans must do is to exercise the ghost of low self-esteem and to wear the spirit of self-belief. The day we do that, that is the day that Africa will begin to grow.
Furthermore, leaders have been urged to become an inspiration and role models of their people, lead by example and respect democratic values and the will of Africans. In his message, the Burkina Faso President Ibrahim Traoré intends to unite Africa and urges leaders to demonstrate servant leadership for development of the region.
I say to every leader across Africa, fear not your people. Fear only the day they no longer believe you. When a leader loses the trust of the people, no army, no propaganda, no election can save them. The power that builds nations comes from the ground, from the streets, from the farmers, teachers, mothers, and students whose sweat holds the land together. Serve them, listen to them, because they are the nation, not you. Let this message travel beyond Tanzania, beyond Burkina Faso, beyond every border drawn by those who once divided us. Let it echo in the streets of Chicago, in the markets of Lagos, in the villages of Malawi, in the alleys of Port-au-Prince. The age of awakening is here.
A new year reminds African leaders that there is more work to be done to save, unite, and develop the continent. Telson Magombo, MBC News.
On a sad note, the bodies of two artists who died in a road accident in Cheo last Friday have been laid to rest at HHI Cemetery in Blantyre. The two and three others were travelling to Lilongwe to perform with Eli Njuchi. A cross-section of Malawians, including Minister of Youth, Culture and Sports, Patricia Whiskers, attended the ceremony. Our reporter, Simeon Boyce, reports.
This is the voice that people who patronize Scholars Cafe in Blantyre every Thursday and Sunday to watch jazz performed by Mingoli Band will miss forever. The 36-year-old Elivase Matamando Muyawa, who was a lead vocalist for the band, died in Ncheu on Friday last week in a road accident alongside four other artists when they were traveling to Lilongwe to perform at a music concert with Eli Njuchi. A vocalist for Mingoli Band, Crispin Tom, who was mentored by late Elivase, describes her death as shocking and says it has created a gap that will be difficult to fill.
It's such a tragedy to to us, because losing someone who really care about you or who really loves you is very painful. So as a band, we are very affected because of the death of our sister. We lost a lot of things because of her death, because she was the one who worked as our manager, and she provides everything about the band, and she puts a lot of efforts to make it bigger.
During the funeral ceremony in Machinjiri, brother to the late Peter Myawa says the death has robbed the family a pillar. He describes Elivase as a naturally talented artist who mesmerized patrons with her skills.
Honestly speaking, Matamando was an angel to the family. Matamando was a strong pillar to the family. The family depended on her on so many things, and the demise of Matamando has left a very big gap in our hearts. Mando started music at a very tender age. Music lies in our family, and we were not surprised to see Matamando singing. As a matter of fact, she is one player who has made music industry the way it is today.
For Raphael Chitsonga, the drama is a life that has been cut short at 31, something that the family members, relatives, and workmates are failing to come to terms with. In her eulogy, Minister for Youth, Sports and Culture, Patricia Wiskesi, says government is equally shocked by the demise of these youthful artists.
It is a big blow to the music industry. It is a blow to the ministry, to the community, and to the nation at large. At this moment in time, as a ministry, we are trying to look for several ways that we can promote our artists in Malawi, and it is sad that the same artists that we are trying to promote have to leave us. So as a ministry, we are saddened, we are in shock over the road accident that happened.
The death for 5 artists has reignited debate on road safety in Malawi. Simeon Boyce, NBC News, Blantyre.
May their souls rest in peace. And well, that item also concludes this edition of NBC News. A recap of our top stories before we leave. Malawi registers 11 cholera cases and no deaths recorded. The Ministry of Health confirms Malawi Legends defeat Zambia Football Legends 6-5 on penalties. And in international news, leaders and advocates across the African continent speak on the continent's economic future, suggesting strategies in achieving economic independence. For more updates, scan the QR code at the top right corner of your TV screen. You have been with me, Evelis Jungambe. Thanks for watching and good morning.